Alright. Let's see. Untap.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. You take 5 damage from Mirror and all the tokens, from the Mirror Battlesphere and all the tokens entering from Impact Tremors. I completely forgot about that.
So... something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you go from 32 to 27.
So I'll keep it, get another dragon.
Yep. This one has Summoning Sickness, the other one does not.
Alright.
You also get to do Herald's Horn again.
Yes, I do. So I'll do the top. 2 top cards in the library, okay. It's a dragon, so I get to add it to my hand. Alright.
Oh, if it's a dragon, you have to show it to me.
Okay, hang on. Here he is.
Okay, Scale Lord Reckoner. Okay, and then you draw for turn. Put it back in your hand, sorry.
So draw, Control D.
Yep.
Alright. Put down a mountain. Let's see. So let's see. What exactly do I have here? Okay, I can't do that yet. What can I do? I think I'm gonna pay 6. Actually, no, wait, hang on. 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red, and then 3 colorless. Sorry, I have to specify that. No, it's not that. Then you and you to cast Croesus the Purger.
Oh boy.
Alright. I guess we'll move to attack, and I'll try taking a swing. I don't think it's gonna. Well, I guess you can't stop.
Well, you're taking a swing with one of the dragons, the dragon that doesn't have Summoning Sickness. So tap it.
Just tap it. Okay.
Yep. I take 5.
And I guess that's a turn. I don't think we need to do anything else at the moment.
I don't think you can either. Land for turn, Sneckerwood Mountain. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6 mana. I play Warstorm Surge.
Alright.
Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target.
Right.
So, I have now 2 things that hurt you whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control.
Fuck.
Yep. Fun, I know. Next, paying 2. Tapping Nykthos to get red mana equal to my devotion to red. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 6 red. Oh, wrong button. I'm so sorry. I get 6 red mana.
That's a lot of red mana.
Yeah, I know. Paying 3. Tapping it to use Felden's ability to create a token copy of a card in my graveyard. It gains haste, and I sacrifice it at the beginning of the end step.
Alright.
I create a copy of Meteor Golem.
So I take 2, right?
You take 4 total. You take 1 from Impact Tremors, 3 from the Warstorm Surge.
Alright.
When Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, Sorry, when Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, it destroys target non-land permanent opponent controls. I am destroying Croesus the Purger.
Fuck you, man. Asshole.
I try.
Fuck you.
Next, I am going to spend 1 red to cast Dockside Extortionist. Cast trigger from Hazaret's Monument. I'm going to discard a Worm Coil Engine to draw a card. And now, enter the battlefield triggers. Warstorm Surge, you're going to take 1 damage. Impact Tremors, you're going to take 1 damage. So you're going to take 2 more damage. How many artifacts do you have? Just the Herald's Horn?
Just the Herald's Horn, that's it.
So I create 1 treasure token, because when he enters the battlefield, I create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponent controls. And you don't have any enchantments, but you do have 1 artifact. That's a much better card in a multiplayer game, because if there's 3 other opponents, and they all have like a couple of artifacts, I get a ton of treasure. So I have 2 red mana floating still, and the 1 treasure, and nothing to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to move to combat. When I change phase, my mana goes away. I'm going to declare Mere Battlesphere and Meteor Golem as my attackers, attacking you. Mere Battlesphere attack trigger. I'm going to tap all 4 of my Mere. When it attacks, you may tap X untapped Mere you control. If you do, Mere Battlefield gets +X/+O until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So Mere Battlesphere is now an 8/7, and it deals 4 damage to you before like blockers can even be declared. So you take 4 from the Mere.
Fuck.
And now you're getting swung at by an 8/7 and a 3/3. So, declare your blockers.
Alright. So I'm gonna block Battlesphere with Outcast. Tap that.
You don't tap to block, FYI.
Sorry. Okay, and I'm gonna block your 3/3 with my dragon.
Okay, so
Dragon
my
Master's
3/3 would have died anyway because it's a token.
Right.
Your dragon lives and your outcast dies.
Fuck. I'm hurting pretty bad right now. Shit.
I'm gonna end my turn, and I'm going to pass to you.
Alright. I don't know if I can come back from this right now, actually. So, upkeep, I can give my top card. It's not a dragon, so.
So you just draw it.
Okay. Control V. Let's see. I'm gonna put down an Alchemist Refuge.
Okay.
Then, this is not going too hot right now.
Yeah. You're gonna be crushed by the weight of my mirror.
So, I am going to pay 1 of each color and 4 generic.
For your commander?
Yeah.
You know your commander's 1 cheaper because of Herald's Horn, right?
3 generic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Also, when you played Croesus, you knew Croesus was 2 cheaper, right?
Damn.
Because of Herald's Horn and the commander's ability?
I have not been doing too hard. Fuck.
You punted.
To be fair, I
once
flat out forgot to draw a couple of times, so...
Yeah, it's fine. What I do with my friends when I first got them into Magic is every time they would start their turn, I would go, untap, upkeep, draw. Untap, upkeep, draw. Now they just chant it out of habit.
Right. Okay.
So remember to tick up the X area so we know how many times you've played your commander.
Boop.
There we go.
Okay. So I've got the Ur Dragon out.
Let me guess, you're swinging with both of your tokens to draw 2 cards and drop a permanent from your hand into play.
Sure, why not? Let's go.
Or are you keeping them as blockers? Because that is also a viable strategy.
Thinking right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty fucked right now, no matter what I do. Can't get over you're a dragon, so...
I don't need to get over the Euro Dragon to kill you, EJ.
Fuck you.
I don't. It's the truth.
Anything goes through.
EJ, I can deal 15 damage to you without attacking you next turn. Right now.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you?
I'll show you how I do it when the turn starts, but I'm sure some of our eagle-eyed viewers know what the combo I'm about to bust out is.
Or they're just as confused as I am, one or the other.
True.
I'm gonna swing with a dragon.
Okay.
Right.
So on the attack, Dragon triggers.
Yeah,
so you draw X cards, where X is the number of dragons attacking, and you put one permanent from your hand into play. So a permanent is anything that is not an instant or a sorcery. So you can drop like some other huge dragon from your hand right now.
I guess we'll put down Hellkite. Let's do that.
Ooh, Utvara Hellkite. Okay.
And
another 6/6, cool.
I think that's all I can do for now. So you took your damage, right? Or did you just block?
Oh yeah,
I
can't block. It's flying. I'm gonna take the 5.
All right. So I think that's all I've got. So I'll pass turn.
Okay. Did you hit pass?
I did hit pass, didn't I? There we go.
No, there you go. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Snow-covered mountain again.
So
pay 3. Ready? Pay 3.
Alright.
Tap Felden. Create a copy of a creature in my graveyard.
Oh.
I'm creating a copy of Wormcoil Engine.
Alright.
Enter the battlefield ability, Warstorm Surge, Impact Tremors. You're gonna take 1 from Impact Tremors, 6 from the Warstorm Surge.
Fuck.
Okay. Move to combat. Declaring Mere Battlesphere, Wormcoil Engine as attacking. Mere Battlesphere, I'm doing his ability again, tapping the 4 Mere. So he's an 8/7. You're going to take 4 from his ability from tapping those 4 Mere.
Okay.
So now you move to blocks. How are you blocking?
So I'm sorry, I got a little lost there. Who's attacking?
Mere Battlesphere.
Okay, Mere Battlesphere.
And Wormcoil Engine. So
okay.
Mere Battlesphere, though, also is an 8/7.
8/7. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to block Battlesphere with the Euro Dragon.
Okay.
And then I guess Hellkite's just going to take the L on the Worm Engine.
Okay.
Okay.
So we move to damage. Battlesphere dies. Udvara Hellkite dies because this has Death Touch. So even if it was a 1/6, you'd still die.
Alright.
And it also has Lifelink, so I gain 6 life.
Fuck.
And then I create a 3/3 worm with Lifelink and a 3/3 worm with Death Touch when it dies. Enter the battlefield triggers. You take 3 from the Warstorm Surge, 1 from the Impact Tremors from the Lifelink worm entering, and then you take 3 from the Warstorm Surge,
Fuck.
1 from the Impact Tremors from the Death Touch worm entering.
Fuck that.
See, the copy that I made of my Wormcoil Engine dies at the end of my turn, which is why I attacked with it, because I get it for a turn and then it goes away, and then I have to make another copy. But when it dies, I still get those tokens. So, no matter what, you were taking 15 damage from the Wormcoil Engine. I didn't even have to attack with it. I could have just had it there and then moved to the end of my turn, sacked it to the ability, because Felden is what revived it, and made the 2 tokens from it, and then you would have taken the 8 from that. That was 15 guaranteed damage I had on you when I discarded my Worm Coil Engine.
I can't wait for you to watch this back and call me an idiot for every single misplay I have.
Oh, well, with like the cards in your hand and misspending your mana. I might end up doing that in the comments. Viewers, if you see me in the comments, you'll know it was me.
Right. I think we should call it for now because that was actually pretty fucking long. I honestly thought Biz was just going to clap me in 2 moves. And we'd have a couple of games.
No. My Yuriko deck, which is the deck my friends have banned me from playing, is banned from playing because of the reason. It ends games too quickly.
Right.
This Feldin deck, I kind of took inspiration from my Yuriko deck and inspiration from just enter the battlefield triggers and stuff that like gets me value when it dies. Because Feldin is basically a necromancer, not lore-wise, but card mechanic-wise. He's basically a necromancer that can revive anything in my graveyard for a turn. So I just have like, I had one game, EJ, where I had Mere Battlesphere in my graveyard and every turn I revived it. And so, but here's the thing, when Mere Battlefield enters, I still get all the Mere. It got to the point where I think 44 Mere, because I have methods in this deck, EJ, of untapping Feldin and using his ability again. So what I did was like in one turn, I untapped him and retapped and like reused his ability, making copies of Mere Battlesphere, I think 6 times. I was doing it like 6 times a turn. So it got to the point where I had a ridiculous number of Mere, where it didn't matter who I was attacking. I activated Mere Battlesphere's ability and tapped all of the Mere that I had untapped from previous, like, entering the battlefield of Mere Battlesphere, and they just died on the attack trigger. They didn't even get a chance to say who was blocking. They just died to the ability damage.
That's so fucking mean. That's a mean card, man.
Mere Battlesphere is not a mean card.
That's worse than, like, what's the one Eldrazi that's like, you make it your commander, and then you can bring it out super easy with a whole bunch of wastes. I can't remember exactly how this works.
Kozilek?
Kozilek, I think, yeah.
Ulamog?
I think it's Kozilek.
Emrakul, the new Emrakul, because the original Emrakul is banned in Commander.
I remember a long time ago I played against someone who used the Kozilek Commander deck and they just clapped me. My response was, I'm just going to poison you to death. And that worked surprisingly well.
Dude, the Kozilek Commander deck is kind of mean, because you're like, oh, they're in colorless. They don't have any counter spells, and then they get Kozilek out, and Kozilek's at, like, no. Discard a card from your hand, counter a spell with that same CMC. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, every time I draw a card, I've drawn a counter spell. I was like, what? And I was like, I discard this land card to counter your 0 mana spell, and I'm like, screw you. I was like,
you know what that doesn't work against?
What?
Poison counters.
Well, you mean Infect? Yeah.
Good shit. It's a shame that I don't remember what the poison commander is. I'll throw it up on screen. But that's like a $25 card, so fuck.
Which poison commander?
I'll just look it up.
Is it the one that it proliferates at the end of turn?
I'm gonna check.
Because if it is, it attracts a Praetor's Voice, for those of you that are unaware, and she received a reprint, so her price has actually gone down.
Good. That's good. It's very, very nice.
She's one of the more popular Infect commanders, just because at the end of, like, if you give it a single poison counter to every single player at the table but you, at the end of every one of your turns, you get to proliferate, which means increase the number of counters a permanent has by 1, no matter what type of counter that is. You're just increasing the amount of them by 1. A lot of people run her with Planeswalkers because she can increase the loyalty counters to get to their ultimate a whole lot faster. And they run her with Infect because if you hit a single person with an Infect creature, then 10 turns later, as long as she's on the board and no one's dealing with her, they're dead, no matter what they do.
Just to answer your question,
now,
it's... sorry, keep going.
Now, technically there are ways of doing that. There's ways of removing Infect counters. There's ways of preventing counters from going on players. Solemnity as an enchantment from Amonkhet comes to mind, for example. Other stuff like that. But like those are cards that you have to run in your deck to deal with it. And I was running a few of them in quite a few of my decks at one point when Infect was much better, which was much bigger in my local meta. But the player that runs Infect doesn't show up anymore because people were hating him out of the game, because even though Infect's not that strong a mechanic, nobody likes to lose to it, which is like part of the problem. Like, some mechanics can be pretty weak, but just because of the fact that it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, they're not gonna let you play it. Sorry, that was... I play this game a lot. Magic the Gathering, that is.
Yeah. I like, fuck, what's it called? Stupid. I like playing Draft a lot.
Oh, dude,
it's expensive, but I think it's fun.
Dude, Draft is so much fun. I love Draft.
Yeah.
There's a draftable commander set called Commander Legends, where your goal is to draft a commander deck from the sets, and they're like 25, or are they 20 card booster packs? I can't remember. I have an 8-player draft set that I bought when it came out, because the plan was for me and my play group, because Commander Legends is designed to be drafted in multiples of 4. So like 4 players, 8 players, and you can buy booster boxes or 8-player draft sets, as other people call them, of that. And I bought one of those, and my plan was, because the play group I play with in it's college, UMass Amherst, there's 4 people, counting myself typically. Our plan before this whole COVID thing happened was to draft that twice, because a lot of them only started playing Magic in college, and I've been playing well before college, so they don't have nearly as much experience as I do. Like, there was another time I bought a drafting set for us to do a draft tournament, and I went undefeated because none of them knew how to draft or read signals to figure out what colors people were in and stuff like that. And I basically got all of the removal I needed to build a very solid Dimir control deck. I had every piece of removal in that pod. Literally, I was like, well, I know I have all of the removal, so my bombs aren't being threatened at all. So all I needed was like 1 or 2 bombs in my deck. I drop them, and then when they go to play their threats, I can just efficiently clear them and remove them, and I just won. And none of them liked playing like that. I was like, well, you need to like get better draft knowledge. So the whole reason I bought the 8-player set, well, granted you can only buy it as an 8-player set, was so that we could draft twice, so that they draft once, they get an idea for what the set is like, how draft is a bit more, and then we draft again, and then they can take the lessons they literally just learned and try and apply them. That was like the goal. Right. And then this whole pandemic thing happened, and we have not been able to play with each other, which is because we're interested in keeping safe and not spreading the disease. Like, I'm not saying we should drop everything and go play with each other. I'm just saying it's sitting on a table in front of me, and I am sad.
Have you ever seen like those weird things that look like pentagons that's supposed to be like Magic but a family game night kind of thing? Every time I see that, I just picture trying to explain this game to my mom and my dad, and like, man, I don't think this is gonna work the way you think this is gonna work. Wizards of the Coast. That's just my take.
Oh! You mean? Oh, that's called Game Night. That's called MTG Game Night. Yeah.
So it's literally called Game Night.
Yeah, it's called Game Night.
Okay.
Game Night was developed by Wizards of the Coast as an attempt to make Magic more of a like board game style experience, because Wizards of the Coast was like, we're a tabletop game like Pandemic or other board games like that, but people that play those kinds of board games aren't picking up or playing Magic. Why is that? And then part of the problem is, well, you need to get a deck, you need all your friends to have a deck, and when some people play board games, there's like 5 or 4 people there, like, they don't want to just play like some one-player game, so they made that, and it wasn't targeted for families to play it together. I mean, some of the marketing pointed to that, but yeah, I can, Mom. The marketing was pointed towards that, but it wasn't like the product designer, or whatever you want to call it, gave an interview about like their intentions with this product, and they talked about how their intentions was more for like the college kids that have not gotten into Magic yet, but they play board games, essentially as a way of like enticing them into it.
So Frank, even though Frank would never buy that.
Correct. Well, or people thought that like someone who was friends with Frank might have bought it and used it to try and entice their other friends to play Magic. I bought it and tried to teach my family Magic, and only one of them started playing and hasn't really any idea of what they're doing, and that one person is my brother.
You poor soul. I'm so sorry, Visit.
I also made a battle box. So a battle box is a group of decks. Where is my phone? My mother wants me to call my brother. Mom, I can't find my phone!
Find the phone visit. Do it.
Well, I need to call my brother to tell him his dinner's ready. Because he's not answering my mother, so she wants me to get him. But I bought a battle box. So I made a battle box, which is like a battle box is a bunch of decks that are all about the same power level, so that if you and your friends like have gotten to the point where one of you has spent way more money than the other or stuff like that, you can just all grab a deck from the battle box and battle that way. So what I did to make the battle box is I went to cardkingdom.com, not sponsored, but I so wish we were. They have this product called battle decks. They're called battle decks. Card Kingdom also has this product called rookie decks. Rookie decks, in my opinion, are the premier way to learn how to play Magic. For me, looking at what the decks include, add in the fact that Card Kingdom, the company, for constructing the rookie decks, has made them all balanced around each other, and made them used with like cards that they have in surplus from like when they opened packs and stuff to get singles to sell, because Card Kingdom is a company that sells card singles as well as other stuff, like Magic related stuff like that. And so what they did was they hired like a deck builder to build decks with this chaff. Hold up. And so like the rookie decks are made by an actual like deck builder. I can't remember who they hired for this series of rookie decks. Tolarian Community College, run by the professor, I don't remember his real name, has like a whole video explaining them, and I recommend anyone interested in Magic checking it out and checking out his channel. He's the largest Magic the Gathering YouTube channel currently on YouTube.
Link down below.
I don't even know if EJ is going to put the link. But
of course I'm going to put the link. I'm not a jerk. I like his content too. I think it's funny.
Yeah. But like rookie decks are like $7 a deck, and they're all balanced against each other, and they're actually like a big problem that Magic the Gathering starter decks have is they don't include any like play sets. They typically don't include play sets, which means if you're not playing something other than Commander, you're not going to get like a genuine Magic experience, because it's like, oh, there's one copy of like my key card for this combo that this starter deck is built around. If I don't draw it, I lose. The rookie decks are actually made with like play sets and taking into account like draw percentages and stuff like that. Now, if you're interested in getting into Commander again being my favorite format, Wizards of the Coast's pre-built Commander decks are actually very, very good as a starter product. Like the people that make the Commander decks know how to make some pretty decent Commander decks on like a budget.
It's just a shame they're like $70, even like.
I think they're, if you buy them like when they come out, Kaldheim is getting, so we're in what's called the Year of Commander. It used to be that we would get a release of Commander decks once a year, and there would just be like 4 of them, all with different themes. We're in the Year of Commander, as Magic is calling it, so every single set that's come out so far, like we got Commander Legends, the Commander themed, we got Commander Legends, the Commander themed draftable set, but we're in like the Year of Commander, so when Zendikar Rising came out, we got 2 new decks, 2 new Commander decks themed around Zendikar Rising. When Ikoria, the Godzilla Kaiju themed set came out, we got 2 Commander decks themed around Ikoria. Actually, I think when Ikoria came out, that also went in line with when the Commander decks came out for that year, so they actually made the normal Commander release all Ikoria themed. Yeah, they did. So we got 4 Ikoria themed Commander decks. But Kaldheim is coming out, and we're getting 2 Kaldheim themed Commander decks. And the 2 Kaldheim themed Commander decks look pretty good to me. Like, one of them, if I'm remembering right, I'm looking up their deck lists now. One of them is an Azorius deck, which is blue-white. It's a bit more controlling, and it goes around this new Foretell mechanic. Foretell's like a new like card draw mechanic, and it new like card advantage mechanic, and it kind of looks like your standard budget blue-white control deck, where it has some flyers to ping at your opponent, it has some card draw, some life gain to stabilize, and your goal is to remove all the stuff that's in your opponent's way, in your way, and whittle down the opponent with like 1,000 cuts. And then the other deck. Is a like elf tribal deck. Like it's a Golgari green-black for those of you that don't know. Like elf deck, and Golgari elves is a very powerful tribe. So even making that kind of deck on a budget is still going to be a pretty powerful deck. And it looks pretty good. It has some of the like staples of Commander, like Casualties of War is a fantastic card that's included in the deck. Putrefy is a pretty often used staple. It has Arcane Signet, which is a new card that came out with Eldraine, Throne of Eldraine's Brawl decks. Brawl is basically standard Commander. Standard's a rotating format. Brawl didn't really kick off very well, but Arcane Signet came out in that Brawl set, and it's been in the Commander set since. It just has like some good cards. Typically, the big problem with the pre-con Commander decks, for people wondering, is the mana bases for them tend to be on the cheaper side because lands are used in basically every format. So lands tend to be pretty expensive if you want to get the good ones, which is unfortunate, but like you can like play, like the decks still have a chance of holding their own. I tend to, when they come out, if I have the money, buy at least one of them just because there's sometimes some interesting cards printed in them.
Basically, can we get you on my mom's like public access show? Because she has a problem where she can't get the guests to talk enough, and like you're really good at just keeping the thing going. How do I? Okay, I'm trying to say you talk a lot and not be like a jerk about it.
No, I understand. Sorry about the silence there. My brother came in to talk to me, and I didn't want him to get picked up, so I had myself muted. Sorry about that if he comes through. Yes.
It's fine.
I mean, if she's basically the only thing I can really talk about at any length is Magic the Gathering.
What about Fate Lore? Oh god, I said it. No.
See, the problem with Fate Lore
no.
is I don't know how well dioramas are going to come across audio only.
You just draw a diorama.
There's also the fact that, like, if I had to choose something to advertise to people in an effort to get them into that thing, I would pick Magic over Fate any day. Because Fate's just a show, but Magic, like, it's a show I can enjoy by myself. I don't need to talk to someone about Fate to enjoy it. I do enjoy talking to people about Fate, but I don't need to. Magic the Gathering, by definition of the game, I need another player to play against. Like, I've played too many games by myself, where I pull out two of my decks, shuffle them up, and I just play with myself. And I've found one thing through doing that. I'm both a sore loser and an awful winner.
I used to do that with Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I used to do that with Yu-Gi-Oh cards too.
Yeah.
I remember there would be times where it would be like, oh, I really want to pull off this combo, but I know my opponent has a counterspell in hand. Hopefully I can bait out their counterspell with this, and then I'll go and I'll pretend to be the other player. I'll be like, I know they're running a combo deck. Do they have their combo in hand, or is this a bait? And I'll be like... It's, yeah, so, like, Call Time, if Call Time comes out and people are interested, I do recommend picking up one of the, Call Time Commander decks. I'm trying to figure out their price. You can pre-order them right now on Card Kingdom if you want to. You can pre-order them sealed. It is $26 for the Elven one, $24 for the Azorius one called Phantom Premonition. It also has kind of a Spirits sub-theme, and it is $45 for both of them. So it's $26 for one, $24 for another, so that's $50 total. And if you buy both of them on Card Kingdom, you save $5 if you buy both of them together. They will ship on February 5th if you pre-order them from Card Kingdom.
How do you know all this off the top of your head?
I have it open.
Oh, okay. I thought you just knew.
Oh, yeah, I know all things Magic. I'm plugged into the mainframe.
The ultimate planeswalker.
Also, if you go to TCG Player, that's another place I use to buy singles. A big problem people have with TCG Player is the fact that TCG Player is basically like the eBay of selling and buying cards. But like you can go to if you go when you're searching for a card, you can say make sure it's from a verified seller. A verified seller, the only way to get a verified seller is if you are an actual store. Like other stores, like Card Kingdom is a store that runs its own website to sell cards. Other stores will do that. Other stores will use TCG Player if they don't want to host the website and stuff themselves. I tend to use TCG Player because Card Kingdom has a habit of pricing their products and stuff like that a bit higher than the market value currently says. Oh, and if you ever want to check the market value of a card, MTG Goldfish has scripts and stuff to scour the internet to see how much is currently in supply, currently up for sale online. That doesn't really take into account stuff that's up for sale in stores, but if stuff isn't up for sale, then it doesn't really matter in the supply and demand equation. And then they look at the prices those are being sold at and stuff like that, and they try and give you a market evaluation. They can be sometimes slow about market shifts just because you have to wait for the programs to run, and I don't know how often they run. But if you ever need to Google the value of a card in Magic, MTG Goldfish is the place to go for me.
Right.
But you can go to TCG Player, and you can pre-order the Commander Kaldheim decks for different prices. For example, you can pre-order both of them from the verified seller Legit MTG for $37, which is cheaper than Card Kingdom. But they only have 3 in stock, whereas Card Kingdom, I don't know how many they have in stock. They didn't show me when I was on their website. Now back to the battle decks when I was talking about, because this is actually a pretty long tangent, because I started off by talking about the rookie decks, which I think are a much better introduction to 60 card Magic than Wizards of the Coast's own pre-made starter decks. But Wizards of the Coast Commander decks are probably the best introduction to Commander on a budget, because you can get a pretty decent deck for the $26. Battle decks are what I use to make my battle box, because battle decks are decks that are a bit more powerful than the rookie decks, a bit more complicated than the rookie decks, because one of the nice things about the rookie decks is they're simple, but they're $10 each, and they're all power leveled, they're all balanced to be about the same power level as each other. So the battle box I bought 10 battle decks, all different 2-color pairs, so that there's a variety of different strategies and playstyles within my battle box. And if my friends and I want to play a 60 card game of Magic, and I'm not busting out my Mono Blue Tron Modern deck or my Modern Storm, yes, I'm the player that plays Mono Blue Tron and Modern Storm.
And you're off the show.
No, people hate Storm. Not a lot of people hate Mono Blue Tron.
Why.
I got into Storm because Storm is cheap. Mono Blue Tron is my deck of choice.
God damn it, Bissett.
I love Mono Blue Tron.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm getting the cross ready now.
But if they don't want to play Commander, because Commander games can be long, they just want to play the 60 card game, and they don't want to go up against decks that are well over any amount of money they've spent in this game. We bust these out and we play with them, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable.
That reminds me.
Yeah. I think I have to go for dinner now, though.
Oh, okay. Wait, really quick. Before we end this, actually, bye, everybody. I guess you'll come back later, I guess.